KIK-FM 107, that is FM, and phasers on stun. Beam me up, Scotty. Speaking of space and all that kind of thing, 1984 is going to be a bonus year for stargazers. We'll get a very rare view, a view that only comes around every century and a quarter on Earth. So, of course, it's the only time in our lifetime that we'll be able to see this, and that's the Plutonian eclipses. The planet Pluto will be in view for a period of 36 months, and we'll finally be able to get a really good view of Pluto. All sorts of observatories all over the world are excited about that, because at last they'll be able to give us more accurate descriptions of the planet Pluto. That's coming in 1984. Also coming is 1984, the brand new album from Van Halen. I just got it in a few minutes ago, and in just a moment we'll debut the new Van Halen. As you know, KIK is presenting Van Halen on April 23rd. That's a long time from now, but to get us in the mood a little early, this is 1984, brand new from Van Halen. The song is called Jump on KIK. KIK-FM 107 and Joan Armatrading Drop the Pilot, and Chilliwack with Getting Better. Got a few calls about that new Van Halen single. Quite interesting, eh? Synthesizers from Van Halen. Definitely a change. The album cover's pretty unusual, too. It's a little sweet blonde angel, about 3 or 4 years old, smoking cigarettes. And the title of the album is 1984. We'll hear lots more from the new Van Halen. If you're looking to get in shape, the Beltline Recreation Center is open through the whole holiday season. They're open right now. They have fitness classes, swimming, lifting weights, and saunas, and all kinds of activities. For more information, give them a call at 266-3501.
Hi, this is Darby Mills from the Headbands, coming to you from KIK-FM 107.
And Darby will be rocking us New Year's Eve at the Saddle Dome. KIK-FM 107, and where do we go from here? That's the Motels from their album Little Robbers. Good morning, it's 3 before 11 o'clock. I'm Jaime Wohl, sitting in for the holidaying Robin LaRose, and no, he didn't go somewhere warm after all. He was threatening to go to Florida. Apparently, said the temperatures are a little too cool for him, poor fellow. So he's back east, having a good time, and he'll be back next week. Coming up on the 1st of 1984, this coming Sunday, New Year's Day, join us for the top 107 hit kickers of 1983. Starts at 3 in the afternoon. Coming up, some new Manfred Mann right after The Police. This one's for everyone who was at the club last night. This is Invisible Sun on KIK. KIK-FM 107, that's Duran Duran. And New Moon on Monday. And The Runner from Manfred Mann's new album, which is called Somewhere in Africa. It's -16. It'll be sunny all afternoon. Bit windy, though, and highs will get up to -10. Few clouds tomorrow, and the high will, get this, be around freezing. That's 0. That's nothing. Hey, we can wear light jackets. And no chance of snow for the next 2 days, but there's plenty of snow up in the mountains. And if you're planning to do some skiing over the holiday weekend, do tune in to Ron Rimmer's ski reports 3 times daily, Monday through Friday, and you get one extra one on the weekends. The next ski report will be at 6 o'clock tonight. This is Eddie Grant on KIK. KIK-FM 107, that is Platinum Blonde and Doesn't Really Matter, and some Genesis from their new album, Just a Job to Do. 21 minutes before noon. And at noon, KIK Info 107 with Jock Wilson and Holly Stern. And the news and the sports. It's the 29th of December, just a couple of days away from New Year's Eve. If you're planning your own party this year, got some advice and suggestions from the Vodka Information Bureau. They sent us this, and actually some good points. Apparently, parties should be a form of entertainment, not merely entertaining, but their own form of entertainment. This woman claims you should take a Shakespearean point of view when throwing a party. In other words, all the world's a stage, and you, as the party host, you're the director, and your guests are the actor. If you have some interesting friends who are good at parties, you know, a few suggestions, strange games and oddball ideas, you know. Depends what kind of friends you have. But more creative, the more fun. Not just another one of those where you're sitting around and, you know, talking to one or two people. Sometimes some games or some dancing definitely cheers the whole thing up. Coming up, got some politics of dancing from Reflex. KIK-FM 107, that's Clarence Clemens and the Red Bank Rockers. That's the big man, Bruce Springsteen sax player. Very, very good R&B album called Rescue. Yeah, it's a few minutes, make that 3 before 12 noon. The weather this afternoon, mostly sunny, few westerly winds, and some clouds rolling in this evening. Tomorrow, some scattered flurries in the afternoon. Low overnight around -15, and the highs for Friday near freezing. Right now, it's 15 below zero. Coming up next is Scoops. KIK-FM 107. KIK-FM 107 and the Spoons and Old Emotions. Speaking of emotions, I'm really glad to see that emotions are coming back into film. I'm a big movie buff. I generally see about a movie a week, and I've seen a lot this holiday season. And it's interesting that last year at this time, a lot of the movies were either science fiction or extra special effects, and sometimes the stars of the movies were the effects rather than the people. Well, this Christmas, there's still a lot of that going on. I'm not saying it stopped, but there's an abundance of movies about people, and 3 that I saw were just excellent. Terms of Endearment, featuring Deborah Winger and Shirley MacLaine as mother and daughter, Yentl with Barbra Streisand, and Silkwood with Meryl Streep. And all 3 of these movies are movies about people and real situations, at least in Silkwood's case, and the other 2 are about real people, or what people might be in the case of Yentl, which is more of a fairy tale. But all of these movies are very full of emotion. And I kind of like this return to people movies. We have some great ones coming in 1984. I've kind of run out of movies for the rest of the year. I'm hoping that some new ones will open now. But if you like movies that really do get to your heart, all 3 of those movies are recommended. Coming up in about 10 minutes, this afternoon's Blue Plate Special. And this afternoon, a look at rational youth. This is The Who, and I Can See for Miles on KIK. KIK-FM 107 and Social Orphan, that is Saga. Good afternoon, I'm Jaime Wohl. Thanks for joining me on my lunch hour. We got a Blue Plate Special coming up in a moment. But first, I wanted to remind you, tomorrow is the last day to vote for Humble in 1984. You know, the Calgary Sun is having a contest. Who do you turn on in the morning, or who do you turn on to? Which radio station? And Humble Howard is groveling pretty much. He's actually paid me to tell you this. Please vote for Humble Howard. And you could win a trip to the sunny south from the Sun. All you have to do is fill in their coupon. They are giving away a trip. And just write in Humble. And if he's the morning man of the year in 1984, well, he's made a lot of promises. He'll remind you about them on Monday when he's back. It is -15, going up to a high of -10 today. Tomorrow it'll go up to around -1.
So, start your new year off in great designer fashions from Big Steel and save during Big Steel Man's year-end sale.
Look at Big Steel Man!
Come into Big Steel Man and take advantage of their greatest savings of the year.
This afternoon on the Blue Plate Special, listen to one of Canada's most promising young bands, Rational Youth. They're from Montreal, where lead vocalist Tracy Howe used to play with another Montreal band, Men Without Hats. Howe left the group, though, to form Rational Youth, and last year's debut album, Cold War Nightlife, which featured City of Night, was received well in Canada, especially here in Calgary, where it became a hit album. This year, the band put out their second release, a 5-song mini-album, simply called Rational Youth. It features more of the electro dance rhythms that the group is known for. Rational Youth on the Blue Plate on KIK. KIK-FM 107, just a sound in the night, holiday in Bangkok, and in your eyes. 3 from the new Rational Youth mini-album, which is simply called Rational Youth. Tomorrow on the Blue Plate Special, I'll have the Police's Regatta de Blanc, and this afternoon, Jim O'Callahan's in for Focus at 3 o'clock, and he'll be taking a listen to the band with you that'll be in concert New Year's Eve at the Saddle Dome. One of the bands, it's Streetheart.
They're all over the place. You can't pass one window without a sign. The after Christmas sales blitz has it, and you can't get your check cashed. Wrong. Head for the nearest Money Mart with ID or without. They'll cash your check. Particularly government checks. It's instant cash. They'll get you photo ID, even a post office box. If you're faced with the after Christmas savings but no cash in hand blues, look for Money Mart. Money Mart, open 6 days a week at 1405 17th block from the Forest Lawn Hotel.
From Crime of the Century, School from Supertramp on KIK. KIK-FM 107, that's Asia and Don't Cry, and Simon Townsend with I Am the Answer from his new album, Sweet Sound. I have some Billy Idol and the Police standing by for you. Speaking of the Beatles, interesting story, very dumb story about a Beatle-related thing the other day. Ringo Starr was host of a live radio program the other day, you know, the kind where the audience phones in and asks the star a question. And some moron called in and asked how he was getting along these days with John, Paul, and George. Without a flinch or a pause, Ringo answered, "I don't get along too well with John lately, but just fine with the others, thank you." Imagine the stupidity. Anyhow, another caller asked Ringo what he thinks about all the Beatle books that are out at Christmas time, especially this year. And Ringo says he never reads any of the biographies because he has his memories instead. We don't have as strong memories as Ringo, and I got a great new Beatle book for Christmas. I'm in the middle of sort of thinking of starting it, but I've got 2 other books as well. Coming up, as I said, some Beatles and Billy Idol. Rebel Yell, Billy Idol on KIK. KIK-FM 107, that's the Pretenders from their forthcoming album, Learning to Crawl, with Middle of the Road. Certainly not middle of the road sounding, though. -11, and we've reached almost our high for the day. Tomorrow will be even warmer. Highs near freezing, around 0. And there will be a little bit of scattered flurries tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow is Friday, and every Friday night here at KIK, we count down Calgary's top 20 rock and roll albums on Hit Kickers. Join us at 6 tomorrow night. A few years ago, Jackson Browne had a song out called The Pretender, and there was a line in it about putting on their dark glasses and making love till their strength was gone. I think Corey Hart got a little bit of inspiration. So this is Sunglasses at Night. Corey Hart on KIK. KIK-FM 107 and the Rolling Stones, Honky Tonk Woman. And I was just reading about Mick Jagger and what he's thinking about fatherhood. He's going to be a dad again for the 3rd time. Sometime in February, Jerry Hall figures it'll be around Valentine's Day. And according to Mick, one of the world's biggest male chauvinists, it's interesting to note he doesn't mind doing a lot of the household chores and diaper changing and all of the things that used to be done more by women. Mick doesn't mind it at all. He says he even enjoys it. He's always changed diapers for other people's children as well as his own. On the other hand, he says he's not about to become a full-time house husband like John Lennon did. Children obviously alter your life, he says, but you mustn't be slaves to them. There's a limit. I certainly don't intend to stop working. So Mick will be rocking and diaper changing in 1984.
You are there with David Bowie, Up Close, Ziggy Stardust, and Spiders from Mars.
Starts Wednesday at the Calgary Place 1, rated PG.
And you are here with Martha and the Muffins with KIK. KIK-FM 107, that's Chilliwack with My Girl and some John Cougar from the new album, A message from the people at ADAC that New Year's Eve is coming up soon, and if you are going to be drinking, don't drive. Don't even think about it. Take a taxi, take the bus, walk, do whatever you have to do, but please don't drive on New Year's Eve if you're going to be drinking. Coming up, some brand new Eurythmics from their 2nd album, Touch, which is available as a British import. We have that for you next. KIK-FM 107, that's Lust for Love from Images in Vogue and ABC and the Power of Persuasion. Images in Vogue will be back in town again soon, sometime early in January. We'll let you know when all the details are out. But here's some shows I know a lot of details about on New Year's Eve. Streetheart and the Headpins rock down the Saddle Dome. KIK presents Black Sabbath on the 16th of January, and on the 23rd, we have Loverboy for you. Catch again tomorrow morning. Jim O'Callahan's next with Bruce Springsteen on KIK.